All right, everybody. One of the things I've been encouraging my students to do is to get new strings. And so I have a whole bunch of old strings here that have been on those instruments for a long time, and a new set of Zyex or whatever you want to recommend for your students. But one of the things that happens is with the fine tuners is we find that when we loosen, I've already changed two of these strings, but if I take off this G here and then look at that fine tuner, come on. You're going to see that it's a really thin. I can't even pull that string out of the fine tuner. It's so tight. So here's what I have to do, even to get this one out and put a new string in. The Zyex are a lot thicker than the original super thin, whatever brand these strings are on here. I think it's a generic brand. So I actually have to use a screwdriver, a very small screwdriver, a flathead. And I'm going to take that and be able to put it inside of that fine tuner to widen it up a little bit so that it'll actually hold the new string. And like I said, I've never actually had one stuck in a fine tuner before. Of course, I'm shooting the video and it gets stuck. So I'm gonna try and pull it out of there with some force, but it is not coming out. So I'm actually just gonna use this screwdriver to widen that just a little bit. And I'm gonna show you how I do it. You got to be careful because these fine tuners sometimes do break. So I'm going to do it up close here. You can see what I'm talking about. But I take my flathead screwdriver, this really small one. I just kind of push it in there, and I kind of go back and forth just a little bit to open that fine tuner up, so it'll be a little bit wider to hold the new string. You look at the difference in thickness of this string and then the newer strings that are down here. There's a lot more winding down here and a lot more thickness. And when these fine tuners are just so thin like this, they will not hold. So I have to just slightly, and I'm really careful not to mar the instrument. I put my thumb under here, and I'm not putting a lot of pressure, but just enough to use the wedge from this screwdriver to get in there and open it up just slightly, so that way when I put the new string on, it'll work. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this G up, take it off. I'm gonna open the new one up here and put it on there. Also, when you're changing strings, don't forget, you really wanna make sure you put some pencil lead on those fittings. Here it is, and I'm just going back and forth a few times to get it nice and lubricated, and on the bridge as well. All right, and then I also take this opportunity, if there's a lot of rosin buildup on the instrument, I also take my quadruple zero steel wool and I'll clean up the fingerboard a little bit for them. This one had some finger tapes on it. I'm going to be taking, and you can see they're kind of falling off. So I'll be taking those off, and I cleaned the fingerboard already with that steel wool, getting all the finger goo and whatever goo is on there, right? I'm helping my students out by just making sure their instruments are in the best playing condition possible, so we get the best sound for themselves and also for the orchestra. But again, that fine tuner, just widen it up a little bit. Be really careful. If you go too deep on it or too wide, you will break off the little the lever part, and you'll need a new fine tuner. So be really extra careful with that, but only if you need to do it when you get those higher quality strings that have a thicker winding at the bottom, whether it's a nylon core string or something like that. You definitely want to do that. So I haven't changed the E either, and I'll be doing that as well. But this instrument is going to be a lot better off once it's all cleaned up and has new fresh strings on it and working fine tuners that it will hold the strings. So good luck, and we'll see you guys next time.